Hello, my name is SilverDarkPhoenix, and this is Valve's Presents The Sacrifice and Other Steam-Powered Stories. This is a huge annual of stories that are based around the Left 4 Dead, as well as the Team Fortress, as well as the Portals games. I don't know where they stand in the games themselves. I think the sacrifice represents to Bill. He dies in the last, I think it was the last Left 4 Dead 1 episode, because he died. I think it was a DLC download. It was an extra map where he sacrifices himself for the team, or one of the other team is meant to sacrifice himself, but in the comic it's meant to be Bill. So yeah, it also has tales from, I think this Portals is meant for before it's a prequel to the Portals 2 game, and Team Fortress is just a Team Fortress thing based upon the multiplayer game. Everyone knows the Team Fortress game. But anyway, the weird thing is that I don't understand what. There's no Counter-Strike in this. I mean, if it was going to be a Valve presents certain games that they have done over the years, how comes there's no Half-Life as well? That's kind of weird. I mean, it says Valve presents, and there's no actual comic of Half-Life 2 or any comic of any other Valve kind of title that I can think of. Like, this came out around the same time. I mean, Left 4 Dead 2 came out, and there's no actual story of Left 4 Dead 2 in this. And this is a big book. This is a huge book. So it's kind of strange that that on the front cover you only see Team Fortress, Left 4 Dead 1, as well as Portals. I could be wrong. There could be more stories than that in this book. But if that is true, then how comes they didn't put it on the front of the cover? I mean, I would like to have seen Half-Life 2 or something that Valve has done as well as a comic strip. But anyway, this is a huge book. It's quite heavy. It's quite thick. Its size is it's 12 inches tall by, let me put it this way, by 9 inches wide. So this is actually quite a huge book. So I have to bring it over here. On the front you get the images of the characters from Team Fortress and Portals. I didn't realize Team Fortress was had a comic. I knew they had a YouTube channel and stuff, but I didn't realize that they would go into a comic. I don't know if this is a web comic based, and they've just implemented this into the book. But I don't know, because I have seen some of these images before online a good couple of years ago. So I'm not too sure if this actually is some of the stuff from the web series that ended up in the book. So I'm just going to have a look into this. This is what it says in the front. That's what it says on the side. It's just, yeah, there is other people in this. So this is kind of weird. So it's Team Fortress. Another Portals, and that must be Left 4 Dead. So yeah, there's only like 4 stories in this. It presents the sacrifice. So I guess this is all based upon sacrifice. That's why they did this. But kind of strange that Valve hasn't done any other book than just this one. I mean, I would have preferred. I mean, for sacrifice, I would have liked to have seen Half-Life 2, because Gordon Freeman sacrifices himself as well for that. So yeah, this is from Team Fortress 2, Portals 2, and Left 4 Dead. Where's not Left 4 Dead 2? And here it is. It goes. This is what's even worse. It says itself groundbreaking video games like Half-Life, Portal, and Team Fortress, and they actually put Half-Life in this. So I don't understand why they didn't put Half-Life, a comic strip of Half-Life, in this. So it's kind of weird that wouldn't appear in this book. So anyway, this is a quite big book, so it's going to take a while to get through the whole pages. I'm going to move this over here so I can open it up. Oh, that's very white. Yes. I'm going to start now because it's going to take ages. But the artwork is really nice in this. If I just move it down a bit more, the light is kind of... Sometimes the light is very good on one side and the light is quite bad on one side. It's kind of weird in this room. And they make it even worse because they made this part white. So this is the introduction. Sorry, I've still got a bit of a cold. Left 4 Dead. This is the Sacrifice. This is based upon the DLC or the update to Left 4 Dead 1, which Bill sacrificed himself with a tank. So there's a lot of pages in this, and it's actually quite a big book. I was quite surprised that they didn't have it like a little anime book or something, but it turns out to be quite a big book. It's hardback as well, so... And it's coloured, coloured as well. It's kind of strange to see sometimes a comic book that has a colour or has been coloured while you buy a printed book. I mean, most comic books I have had are not printed in colour because it used to cost a lot more money to pay for a comic that was colour compared to... I think it's changed now. I think the inks are no different in price to pay for. But it used to be just black and white. So this is just a prequel to the actual events of Half-Life. Sorry, that goes my phone again. The bell always gets in the way. I can't help the bell because it's a big massive bell. Every hour on the hour it just dongs like crazy. Yeah, so it shows how each individual character from the Left 4 Dead series survived and how they appear to be together. So in other words, they're making this into a kind of like, this is canon. This is how it actually happened for Left 4 Dead. This is part 3. That's a jumper. A hunter. Liquor. I hate liquors. And smokers are worse. Smokers and liquors are the worst things. The Resident Evil is liquors, and the ones in here are smokers. I think the liquors didn't come around until Resident Evil 2. Or they're in Resident Evil 1. I think it was Resident Evil 2 the liquors appeared. It was mostly the dogs and the tyrant that was in Resident Evil 1, as well as the plant and snake. Oh yeah, and there was those sharks as well. And spiders. And there was the hunters, yeah, but there was no actual liquors until Resident Evil 2. Tank. This is a big book. This is a very big book. If you're interested in this, I will put a link in the descriptions where I bought mine one from. But I don't know the pricing of this at this moment because I haven't checked up on it for a while. So it could range from being quite cheap or reasonable to being very expensive because they probably don't print them anymore. Ah, Bill. The Team Fortress 2. I'm quite surprised they haven't. Valve hasn't considered making Team Fortress 3. I mean, well, I have heard inklings that they're going to, because they make more money from the multiplayer games than they do from the actual making of games now. So. Also, this book is held together with glue, as well as the terrible thing I hate is the sewn element of they thread these pages together, which is a terrible idea because in every single occurrence that's happened, these pages, when they get a broken spine, they will rip or fall out eventually. If you read these books too much, that's what would happen. I used to read the web series of Team Fortress. I don't know if it was actually created by Valve or it was done separately, but I used to read it. It was very funny. And there's some guys now that actually does it on YouTube as well. I don't watch them that much. I used to watch. Valve used to do some episodes of Team Fortress on YouTube, which was some episodes, but I haven't watched them in a while. The one I saw was a long time ago. The thing is that you kind of expect, if you do see a new animation or a new something appearing, you have a feeling that Valve is bringing something new out. So if they do make a new kind of Team Fortress comic, or they make a new Team Fortress cartoon for YouTube, you know that they're thinking about making an actual Team Fortress 3 or another update to Team Fortress 2. But there's been lots of inklings about Portals 3, that kind of stuff, so I'm not too sure. This is kind of weird paper as well, weirdly printed paper. It's almost like it's got some kind of dust or something on the pages. It's kind of weird. That's why you can hear me rubbing the pages, because it's very kind of strange. It's a kind of strange kind of dust-like feel to it. I think it's to prevent the pages from sticking or something. It's very kind of smooth and soft. So yeah, this is Portals 2. This is based upon the lab. This is more of the lab Portals 1. So I don't know why it's called Portals 2 here. This is more like Portals 1. I've seen this before on the web as well, on certain websites ages ago. So this is the guy who's responsible for writing about the cube and stuff on the companion cube. He's the one responsible for writing all that stuff. So I think this is more like a Portals 1 episode comic here than actually Portals 2. Well, he was responsible for creating Gladys? Okay. It wasn't Gladys, it was, yeah, it was. The turrets. The companion cube talks. Which is kind of strange, because if the cube should be there with her if he wakes up. He's been shot by a turret. That makes no sense. So yeah, these are just images, and these are other books that the Dark Horse has published based upon games and everything. So yeah, this is actually quite a massive book. It's a heavy book. So yeah, the back of it I've shown already. So this was my book opening of Valve Presents The Sacrifice and Other Steam-Powered Stories, which I'm disappointed in. I would have liked to have seen, because there was too much of Left 4 Dead, and not enough on the other series like Left 4 Dead 2 or Half-Life. I would have preferred to have seen more other stories, not just built upon just one. I would like to have seen all the others. And the Portals 2 story was mainly to deal with the first Portals, which is kind of strange that they call it Portals 2. So yeah, that's a bit weird that they've kind of fucked that up. It's not based upon Portals 2, it's based on Portals 1. And Team Fortress story is a normal Team Fortress story, and I think I've seen this stuff being dealt with on the internet as well. I've seen this on a website as well as most of these stories, apart from the sacrifice, which takes up most of the actual book. If you like Left 4 Dead, then yeah, this is the kind of book to buy. But if you like to see a lot of content about portals, this is not the kind of thing you'd see. If you like the Team Fortress, this is kind of okay book to read for Team Fortress 2, but if you're liking any Valve other stories, such as Half-Life, or you're thinking that they might actually make a accumulation of amalgamation of the actual other stories that Valve are responsible, no, this is not the book for you. This is just a little comic based upon the other couple of stories. But I would have liked to have seen Half-Life, and I'd like to have seen other stories as well. So this is an okay thing if you're into Left 4 Dead. Not so much about Portals 2, which is weird when they actually label it as Portals 2. Team Fortress 1 is quite funny, I like that one, but yeah, this is a huge book, quite heavy. If you're putting this on the bookshelf, it will weigh a lot, so you'll have to have good sturdy bookshelves. This is heavy. So yeah, so I will try to do another book opening quite soon. I'll try to do more box openings in the future, so I can upload them and show other things. And if anyone likes to see these more book openings or box openings, I'll be happy to take suggestions from people who are happy to give me any advice that I would like to, what books they like to see, or would they like to actually be interested in the future of me opening as well. So yeah, if you want to comment below the description, or comment below and say what kind of books that you'd like to see me open. I don't have many other books to open at this moment. There are a good few books opening in the future. I'm hoping to get Rick and Morty, but at this point, yeah, this was my Valve Presents book, and my name is SilverDarkPhoenix, and I'll see you next time.